What do you got for me? And we did the odds in class, so let's look at the evens. Oh, let's look at the odds. I'm glad you're smart. I appreciate that. What on the odds on those pages do you want to see? Yes. 13, you got it. Okay, so this one, we go through our three questions. Question 1, is X and Y, are X and Y on both on the same side? No. Next question, can I identify the slope and the y-intercept both? No. Third question, are there parentheses? Yes. So you're going to relate this to point slope. So let's establish the point first. So remember, this is going to always be an opposite value, so it's a positive one when it comes out. This is going to be an opposite value, so that's going to be a -7. So 1, -7 is down here. And then this right here is my slope. It's already a fraction, so we don't have to make it a fraction. So from this point we found, I'm going to go up 1, right 3. Put a second dot. Connect the dots. La-ti-ta. Done. What else did you see on page 125, 127 that I can help you with? Yeah.
15.
Number 15. Okay, go through our three questions. Are X and Y on the same side? No. Can we identify the y-intercept and the slope? No. Are there parentheses? Yes. There's parentheses. We're going to have to figure out the point. So that's opposite sign, so it's -1. This is opposite sign, so it's +3. So -1, +3 is right here. Then we're going to use our slope to find a second point. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. And there it is. Anything else off of the odds? Yeah.
Number 9.
Okay. Number 9, 2x minus 2y is equal to 6. Okay. All right, question 1. Are X and Y on the same side? Yes. So being X and Y on the same side, I'm going to go 0, blank, blank, 0. Okay, so this is going to be a cover method. All right, so is that 0 an X or a Y? X covered up. -2 times what number? It gives me -6. Or +3. Yeah, so -3. So -2 times -3 is +6. So 0, -3 is down here. That happens to be a y-intercept then, because it crosses the y-axis right there. Okay, move it over here. Is that an X or a Y value? So Y, so we're going to cover up. 2 times what number gives me 6? 3. So that's 3, 0, which is right there, which happens to be an x-intercept. We have our 2 dots. There's our line. Okay. Anything else? All right. Would you flip in your books, find page 129. Page 129. I'll be right back. questions. I'll have another one of these tomorrow if you forget this. What? Phones away, please. All right. So these are, we're going to be using 129, and we're going to go through and we're going to use these questions to decipher our answers, okay? You can use this piece of paper on the quiz tomorrow. If you forget it, I'll have another one for you so you can use that. Are you passing those back? I gave you that many extra? Oh, did y'all get one? Yeah. Everyone got one? Boy, I sure can count, huh? All right. So if you notice, let's take a look. Problem number one, it says 3 questions to ask when graphing a linear equation. Are the x and the y both on the same side of the equal sign? If yes, 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0, cover method to find intercepts as points. If the answer is no, check question number 2. Can you find the slope m and the y-intercept b? If the answer is yes, plot 0, comma, b and use the slope m as a map for the second point. If the answer to that is no, check question number 3. Question number 3, is there at least one set of parentheses? The answer is yes. Make the point from the values. Remember, it is the opposite values. And use the slope m as a map to find a second point. If the answer is no, is it a special case? X equals a number or y equals a number? Okay, so those are all the things that we should come across. So on page 129, under letter A, we're going to do this first equation. And I'd like you to look at those questions and tell me, does it satisfy question 1, 2, or 3? What do you think? Yeah, it satisfies question 1. So I'm going to go 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. So this is our cover method. Okay. So then we're going to look at that and say, okay, is that an x or a y value? Well, it's an x, so negative 2 times what number gives me 12? Negative 2 times what number gives me 12? 6. Positive or negative? Positive 6 would make it negative 12. So negative 6, okay? Then we're going to move this. That's a y value. So that's a y value. 3 times what number gives me 12? 4. Okay. So if you, and you don't really have room to graph it, but if I were to make a graph, I'd get 0, negative 6, which is down here, and I'd get 4, 0, which is here. So am I able to see the y-intercept, what I have plotted? Am I able to see the y-intercept? Yeah, this is the y-intercept. So 0, negative 6. Yeah.
Are we supposed to write this down?
No, because you are just using those questions as a template. What you're supposed to do is on page 129, you write down the equation I gave you, and then try and squeeze some work that we've done. All right, so now, my friends, can I figure out the slope of this line? Well, the answer is yes. I have these 2 points, so I should be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's up 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 4, and then reduce the fraction. Pretty simple. It's pretty simple to reduce. So we know the y-intercept, and we know the slope. You don't really have to use a table of values because I've given you the tools, and you only need 2 points to define a line. So I would put on this one, this is a cover method. Description, under its description, this is a cover method because my x and y were on the same side. Okay? Can I go to the next one? Okay. Ready? Good. Giddy up. All right, letter B. Letter B. This is going to be my equation. So let's go through and use our 3 questions. Does it satisfy question number 1? Are x and y on the same side? No. Does it satisfy question number 2? Can I find the slope and the y-intercept? No, I can't. Question number 3, is there at least one set of parentheses? Yes. Okay, so there's one. So this satisfies question 3. So we're going to figure out a point. So remember, this is going to be opposite, and this is going to be opposite. And then what is 3/5 on this problem? The slope. So right now, I can't figure out the y-intercept at this point, but maybe if I just try and draw a small graph. So this is the point that I'm using, and then I have 3/5. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, right 5. So the hard thing is, I can't really see the y-intercept right now. I mean, I could try and count down to it, but as of right now, we're kind of stuck. We don't know exactly what the y-intercept is. There are methods that we can use to get there, but as of right now, I think we're okay. Okay, so I know the slope that was given, and I know one of the points. Okay, so jot that under B. May I move to question C? And we're preparing for our quiz for tomorrow, right? Ready? All right, letter C. Here's the equation. So let's go through our questions. Are x and y on the same side? No. Can I identify the slope and the y-intercept? Well, being this is written like this, I think I can, that's going to be the y-intercept, 0, comma b is the y-intercept. That's going to be our slope. So what is my y-intercept as a point? Utilize what I have written here. What do you think? Close. -6. So 0, -6. And notice I wrote it as a point. And then this right here is the slope. And I think it's important that we list any slope as a fraction. So if it's just a number, put it over 1 and you'll have your slope. Okay, and on this particular problem, you would plot the y-intercept first and then use the slope as a map to find a second point. We good? Yeah.
Will you write the tables of values?
We're not worried about tables of values because we're finding 2 points already. Is that all right? So we're kind of skipping that little thing.
And description?
Description, that one you could say that it works with question number 2. And then because you get to use these questions on the test or quiz or whatever it is. This is letter D. X equals 3. So question number 1, are the X and the Y both on the same side of the equal sign? No. Can I find the slope and the Y-intercept just looking at this? If you know this is a special case, maybe. Is there at least one set of parentheses? No. Is this a special case? This is one of our special cases. Okay, this is a vertical line. So what you would do is you'd go 1, 2, 3 in the X direction, put a dot, and then make a vertical line. Vertical lines have slopes that are undefined. Okay, so on the description, you might want to say, hey, this was one of our special cases. Okay, special cases, Y equals a number or X equals a number. There's two different scenarios. So X equals a number becomes a vertical line through that X value. It has a undefined slope. Letter E, we have Y equals 2. Okay, so question 1. Are X and Y both on the same side of the equal sign? Well, I don't have both letters there, so it's got to be no. Can I find the slope and the Y-intercept? Maybe. Question 3, is there at least one set of parentheses? No. So is this a special case? This is our other special case. So Y equals 2 is a horizontal line. So if I were to graph this, I would go up to 2 and make a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have slopes of 0. Okay, horizontal slopes of 0, vertical slopes undefined. The reason slopes are undefined on the vertical line is I become a dividing of 0. Dividing of 0 you can't do. This one would have a numerator or a top number of 0. So 0 over a number 0. A number over 0 is undefined. Okay, so that's A through E so far. Do we feel comfortable about it? Are we utilizing some good notes about it? All right, let's go to letter F. This is the equation I want to do for letter F. Question number 1, are the X and the Y both on the same side of the equal sign? They sure are. So I'm going to go 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. Agree? So from there, I'm going to use my triangle. Triangle seems to be working nicely. All right, so is that 0 an X or a Y value? X, covered up. 5 times what number gives me 10? 2. Okay. And we're going to move this over here. Is that 0 an X or a Y value? Y. So negative 2 times what number gives me negative 10? Positive 10. Negative 5, good. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Very good. So then, if you wanted to find the slope, let's see, 0, 2 is like here. Our 0, 2 is here. And then negative 5, 0 is here. Okay, so I do have enough information to graph this line. If we wanted to find the slope, we're going to count. Okay, so I'm going to go up 2. So it goes up 2. And then I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my slope. Okay, this happens to be the Y-intercept because it crosses the Y-axis. This happens to be the X-intercept. It's not really asking for the X-intercept, but it finds it for us. Okay, are we seeing similarities here? See how these 3 questions can be very much used as a logical tool? Cool. I hope you do. I hope. Letter G, we have this problem. Okay, so we go to question number 1. Are X and Y on the same side of the equal sign? Nope. Question 2. Can I find the slope and the y-intercept by looking at it? No. Is there at least one set of parentheses? Yes. So if there's one set of parentheses, we're going to figure out some point. We have to figure out some point. So it's going to be opposite this value, opposite of this value. Okay? What is this fraction? What's that fraction going to be? Which is what? What's the significant thing? Slope. Okay, so if I were to try and graph this, let's see, -5, comma 6. I get that. Then I get a slope of down 2, right 3. I guess I could keep going. Down 2, right 3. Ew. Can't really see the y-intercept. I'll put a question with it, because I can't see it exactly yet. Okay, it looks like it crosses between 2 and 3, but I just hand drew this graph, so I might be off a little tiny bit. Okay. Question H. We're going to use the equation y equals x. This is one of the most missed problems, and then you see it done, you're like, oh, that's easy. So first question, are the x and the y on the same side of the equal sign? No. Question 2, can I find the slope and the y-intercept? I can. What we have to do is we have to realize I could put plus 0 and I could put a 1 out front. So then my y-intercept is going to be 0, 0. And then my slope, I'm going to make 1 a fraction, so I put 1 over 1. Okay, so if I graph this, my y-intercept's right here. My slope is up 1, right 1. So that's our most basic linear equation. So there's things sometimes you might have to add to it. If you don't have any other values, you just have y equals x, realize I can put a plus 0. The plus 0 means, hey, it's going to cross at the origin. That's totally okay. The origin is a y-intercept. It's also an x-intercept, but it's the y-intercept first. If I go to question I, it's pretty much the exact same question with one little difference. Okay, so question 1, are the x and the y on the same side of the equal sign? No. Question 2, can I find the slope and the y-intercept? I can. I have to realize I can do a plus 0, so my y-intercept is going to happen at 0, 0. This is a -1, so my slope, I'm going to make -1 a fraction, so I'll go -1 over 1. And again, if I were to graph this, 0, 0 is here. -1 over 1 does this, so it just is diagonally downward. Okay? So sometimes people might think y equals x or y equals -x are special cases. They're really not. They're question number 2, where you might have to realize if I'm missing something, I can put a 0 there. I can put a 1 in front of an x. I can make a 1 a fraction by going 1 over 1. Okay, and problem J. Okay, question number 1. Are x and y on the same side of the equal sign? No. Question 2. Can I find the slope and the y-intercept? Yes. This is the y-intercept. So it's going to be 0, 8 is my y-intercept. I could put a 1 out in front of there, so my slope is going to be 1 over 1. So again, if I had graphed this, and then I could go up 1, right 1. So That's the ins and the outs of this. So do you feel that this paper, if you were to look at this paper during a test or a quiz, that it's going to give you some clues? Boy, I sure hope so. I think it's a valuable tool. And if you misplace this paper between today and tomorrow, don't worry, I'll make some extra copies. I'll have extra copies for you. But I think these are a good palette for us to use from here on out. Okay? All right. On the back side of that page 129, the page 130. Page 130 is blank. Agreed? So take a couple of notes. Page 130 is blank. Let's take just a couple of notes. So here's question 1. How can I make this look like y equals mx plus b? How can I make this equation here look like y equals mx plus b? So notice on y equals mx plus b, I don't have parentheses. Agreed? I also don't have anything with y. Okay, so let's eliminate some parentheses. So what math operation takes place right here? Multiplication. I distribute. So 2 times x is 2x. Agree? Plus 2 times 5 is 10. Now, how would I get y all by itself now? Yeah. Close. Yeah, do the opposite. Add 3. So those cancel. So y equals 2x plus 13. This finds us the y-intercept real easily. So the y-intercept is 0, 13. And then we have a slope of 2 over 1.
How do you know it's 2 over 1?
Well, there's a 2 right here. And I can make any number of fraction because you want to slope a fraction by putting it over 1, right?
How do you know it's 0 over 1?
Because when I have it set up as this, 0, comma b is our y-intercept. So as long as you got rid of any fraction, or if you got rid of all of your parentheses and y is all by itself, it gives it to you right away.
So 13 is b.
Yep, 13 is my b value. Good call. What do you think, friends? We happy? Okay. Let's try one more. Let's say we have a problem like this. How can I make this y equals mx plus b? So right now, x and y are on the same side, so it's cover method. Agreed? But how would I get y all by itself? What would the first step be, you think? I'm not covering up anything. I'm moving it. Yeah, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Now, if those cancel, can I combine negative 10 and negative 3x, or are they unlike terms? They're unlike, so I'm going to write this. Agree? Now I want y all by itself, so what should I do? Divide everything by 2. Those cancel. Negative 10 over negative 2 is this. Is this set up to look like this? So can I find 0, comma b, meaning the y-intercept? Yeah, 0, negative 5. Keep it as a point. And what's my slope? Yeah, negative 3 over 2. So there's a lot of things that these can do if you realize I can sometimes manipulate the equation. Right now, if we're just graphing it, it's fine. But if they asked you, hey, can you solve this for y equals mx plus b? And the thing is, I'm not, so I have shown you how to do this. To make it look like this. And I've shown you how this can look like this as well. Okay? Basically, all it is solve for y and get all parentheses gone. Okay? So on this one, you distribute and then add 1y, or y1. On this one, I would subtract ax, and these are just using letters. Divide by b. So y equals negative a over bx plus c over b. Which again, if you're just looking at letters, sometimes it looks a little tricky. Okay? Questions? Yeah.
So it can it be like y equals mx minus b?
Do what?
Can it be y equals mx minus b?
Yeah. Yeah. That would mean, so if I had this, my y-intercept is this. Uh-huh. Yeah, you bring the sign along. Okay, so friends, what would be wise to do between today and tomorrow? I would say go back and review the graphing. Okay? You have the 3 questions, and then also note the special case. Special cases, where you have x equals a number or y equals a number. Okay? I'm not giving you an assignment tonight. I just think if you go back and look at it, you know my videos are available on Schoology that we can look at. You could look at tonight or today's video. That'll be posted later this morning. But just be good. I'd like you to be able to bring this sheet of paper back with you for tomorrow. But if you forget it, I have extras I would bring, so no big deal. We good? Everyone happy? Everyone ready for this opportunity to show what you know?